I said I wasn't going to get into it, that it was self-explanatory, but here we freaking are. I need this just as much as you guys right now. I'm struggling with my perfectionism while journaling. Help me. Hello, all, and how are you doing? Welcome to Our Redonkulous Life, the podcast that helps you figure out what you want in life and helps you grow to get it. I'm Michele from OurRedonkulousLife.com. I post every Tuesday if you're interested in sticking around to go on a self-improvement journey to get the life that you want. As we discussed last week, we're getting into journaling and start recording things, getting everything down on paper, working on finding your why by being self-aware, finding out who you are, and building your identity so you can discover and develop your own talents. Did you find out some things about yourself you didn't know? Let me know by giving me a like and subscribing. This week I want to talk about how to journal. How do you journal? Especially if you've never done it before. When I first started, it was a little intimidating. It still is sometimes. Journaling doesn't have to be a complicated process, but for those who are perfectionists, it could be even worse. I am one of those people. It's been a hard pill to swallow. I had to learn how to give up on everything, knowing that it won't be perfect. Because you get these unrealistic expectations when you search on YouTube or Pinterest about how to journal. My journal has been and will probably always be a hot mess. Because right now it's about getting to know myself and the things that I want to work on. But before you start writing, you need to find your journaling style, something that fits your lifestyle. And there are many different forms of writing. If journaling seems like too much for you, you could always start with one line a day. This could be a gratitude sentence, a sentence to describe how you felt for the day, one line of whatever you want it to be. And if the one-liners aren't for you, try daily journaling. It's the style where you write down everything that's happened in your day, from what you do every day to the people that you meet. Writing down everything can remind you of certain events years from now as if you were there, right now. It could also remind you of those people you met and had a wonderful conversation with and then you never see again. There's also journey journaling. Say that 5 times fast. But you take yourself on a ride with a blast from the past. Start writing from the beginning of your life and write whatever you can remember, kind of like a memoir. This could be a little daunting though, trying to go back as far as you can remember. It could be done, but it might be a little bit difficult. And if you're a creative person, you could always opt for a bullet journal. In this type of journal, you can record and track your daily, weekly, monthly to-dos, habits, favorite music, really anything you want to keep track of. It's kind of everything all rolled into one. But don't overwhelm yourself. It's very easy to overwhelm yourself with this style of journaling. But whatever style of journaling you choose, or if you just want to say fuck it and do whatever you want, that's fine too. I'm doing a mixture of bullet and daily journaling. I want one book where everything is at because I find myself writing notes on random pieces of paper and post-it notes and then I can't find anything. I need one book to house everything that's going on in my crazy little mind. And if you think you have to spend a lot of money to journal, you don't have to. Don't worry about spending a lot of money. You don't have to if you don't want to. You could start out with a half-used notebook and a broken crayon if that suits your style. But I would suggest though that if you are interested in journaling long term, I would invest a little bit of money to find a journal that suits you and your needs. Splurge and buy those beautiful notebooks and those gorgeous colored pens. You want to give yourself an incentive to journal. Buy yourself some stickers to spice up your entries because your journal is customizable to you and your needs, and you need to have things that will make you want to write in it. So let's say now you've picked out your journal, you've got your pens, you've got your stickers, or whatever type of journal you're going for. The next hardest question to answer is what to write in a journal. And journaling can be done in many different ways. Again, if you just want to grab a notebook and start writing, forgetting all the frills and just get down to the basics, that's 100% fine. But if you're like a lot of other people who say, how hard could this be? I could just sit down and write. And then you spend the next 20 minutes staring at a blank page. Then you realize you don't know where to start. Don't worry, boo-boo. I got you. I have a post on my blog of 25 self-discovery questions to ask yourself. I'll link it in the description. But really anything could go in your journal. It's all up to you about what you put in it. If you're still stumped on how to start, just start with the basics. Your name, your date of birth, where you grew up, and the things that you like. Start small with things like that. And as I said before about the journaling style, figure out what works for you. Start with the one-liner or start with a paragraph. See where either one of those takes you. And now that you've picked out your journal and you picked out your style of journaling to try, your next big questions are, when should I write in my journal? Is there a best time? Morning? Night? When? Tell me! The obvious answer is whatever's most convenient to you. If you're a morning person, write in the morning. If you're a night owl, write then. I do suggest, though, that if you are a morning person, check out morning pages. Julia Cameron popularized the idea of doing a stream of consciousness writing when you first wake up. You don't need to plan and there's no overthinking. You just wake up and start writing what's in your head. You end up tapping into your creativity before you're even fully awake. But if that's not something for you, try, journaling at the end of the day if you need a place to vent before you go to bed. So after journaling, you can go to bed with a clear mind. If either of those options don't work for you or don't sound like they would work for you, you can journal throughout the day if you have time. But honestly, you don't know which time is best for you until you try them all. But just keep your journal in an easy-to-reach place so it can remind you to do it, or take it with you and write short entries whenever you have a few minutes. Because again, this journal is customizable to you and your lifestyle to fit your needs on your self-improvement journey. Journaling for self-improvement is not some big secret. Just buy a journal and start asking yourself those hard-hitting questions and being 100% honest with yourself. With each answer, you're learning and growing from yourself every day. You start to see the things you want to change from each of those 6 aspects that we've mentioned in previous podcasts. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, social, and moral. Writing everything out that is going on inside, you can kind of start to see the patterns and the repeated behavior of you or others in your life. When you're not looking deep enough, things don't change. Nothing in your life changes. You say you want to self-improve, but you kind of only scratch the surface and expect things to get better. That's not how it works, boo-boo. You need to set up and ask yourself those hard questions that make you feel all of those emotions. Because once you get deep down inside yourself, that's what causes the self-improvement. That's what causes the self-awareness. Because you're becoming aware of the things that are mentally going on with you, the things that are emotionally going on with you, spiritually going on with you. You start to notice those things that are physically happening around you, the things socially going on with your friends and those toxic relationships. You start to see who your real friends are. And when all those awarenesses are happening, you start questioning your moral compass. All these things start taking effect when you open up to yourself about who you really are and what past traumas you've had. And the more that you write and the more that you're honest with yourself, and when you're writing things down, they become real. You can't ignore what you just wrote down. And if you're still unsure about where to start when journaling, I'm going to try and film a journal with me video in the next couple of weeks. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe if you want to see the hot mess of a journal. But I'm going to keep it 100% real with you guys. Journaling does take some time to get used to. But once you start, it becomes easier. And I'm still struggling with perfectionism. I'm struggling with perfectionism while journaling. Help me. I see these YouTube videos and Pinterest images of these perfect layouts that I get so overwhelmed and make it this long, complicated process when it really is not. And when I get like that, it makes me want to give up. And I keep forgetting that probably when they started, they were at where I am right now. But it's hard to remember that sometimes. So I want to make a video of myself working on my journal and showing you how much of a hot mess I am. It's that time to start a new journal, and I want to show you how I set it up. But in the end, guys, just start. Don't wait for anything to start journaling. Start with the basics, the stuff that you know right now. Start simple and work your way up. You don't have to be perfect when you first start. You start and you get better. And I know that's easier said than done, but really it's the truth. Does a fancy journal layout help with the journaling? Hell yeah, of course. Am I willing to give up journaling because I can't have the prettiest Pinterest journal? Fuck no. No amount of decorations is going to replace what I'm working towards. I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast and decide to follow Our Redonkulous Life's podcast to help you in your self-discovery journey. Please leave me a good rating. It is much appreciated. And always come find me on my social media pages to connect with me outside of the podcast. Until next Tuesday, have a great day.